All right, welcome to another episode of Powerhouse Conversations. I'm your host, Dream Big Fred, and we have a special episode today. I got my bros from Youth in Action organization that focuses on developing youth through mentorship, sports, and leadership. Today, we're going to dive into AAU basketball, the Junior EYBL Southeast Open Division, their upcoming junior golf program, and their leadership academy that's preparing kids to win on and off the court. We'll also talk about a tournament, a basketball tournament that they have coming up as well, which brings community, competition, and character together in a powerful way. So I have my brothers, Pierre and Rashad. Y'all can introduce yourself, give a little background, tell the people a little bit about yourself.
I'm Pierre Mayes, Director of Youth in Action, Co-Director of Team Driven AAU Basketball Program. I'm born and raised in Montgomery, Alabama, and just trying to make a difference for our youth around the city.
My name is Rashad Mayes. I serve as just business operations with Youth in Action. And I also serve as the co-director of Team Driven.
So today's goal of this episode is to spotlight how Youth in Action is developing a complete student athlete, right? Making sure that their athletic performance is also going to off the field or outside of their field of play. Just tell us a little bit of how Youth in Action started, and give us a little bit about your start, because I know it's a funny.
Yeah, so Youth in Action, my dad actually started the program like in '95 when I was like 12 years old, and we were playing youth basketball. And we had a really, really good basketball team. And I'm not sure who it was, but somebody told him about the AAU side of things. And he got us involved with that. We went to the AAU state championship when I was 12 in Huntsville, Alabama. And then Nationals that year was in Salt Lake City, Utah. And we had some really, really good parents, and they pitched together some money, and we were able to fly out to Salt Lake City. And we kind of kept it going after that. And then, so we had the AAU basketball, and then we spun it off with the golf program. And a couple of years ago, we added the track and field program. And so that's where we are now.
And that leads us right into the AAU program, right? I know you tell us a little bit about some of the things that you've seen, some of the programs that you've been involved with, because I know it's a long list of athletes that's come through the program, as well as the athletes that you've had the ability to coach in other programs.
Yeah. So my journey with AAU as a coach was kind of unorthodox. So we started the Alabama Dream Team. Then we transferred to Alabama Dream Team Express. And during that time, I had a player that was really good that needed more exposure. So I got connected with the Atlanta Express program. And I stayed over there for like 6 or 7 years while my brother was holding down Alabama Dream Team. And during that time, we transferred the name to Team Driven. But in my time in Atlanta, I kind of learned how to maneuver using a nonprofit to really raise funds for the AAU program. And I was able to be along coaching staffs that coach kids such as MJ Walker that played at Florida State, Darrell Moore that played at Wake Forest, Anthony Edwards that played at Georgia that's in the NBA, Denzel Pureford that's at Auburn, that played at Auburn that's overseas now. And so I learned a lot during that time frame, and I pretty much took their methods that I learned in Georgia and brought them back over here to Alabama to help aid our program. And during that time, my brother was fortunate enough to go to Atlanta to the same program and kind of learn some things, and he coached some guys as well, and he'll speak on that. Ultimately, when I got back to Team Driven, we were able to get up a group of kids. We've flown to Las Vegas. We played in Cincinnati, Ohio, Indianapolis, Hampton, Virginia. We played on the Under Armour circuit, the Nike circuit. And so we played at the highest level of middle school basketball that you can play at across the country, playing against teams that's in Under Armour and that's in the Nike circuit.
No, I think that's really dope. And I think my biggest takeaway is you talking about how I think the dopest thing is that you all are brothers. Like, these are real brothers, and y'all have been able to help each other and then pull each other along. So I think, like, even when you talked about what you were doing and then bringing Shaw into the same program. So Shaw, talk a little bit about your journey and, what you've been able to accomplish on the way.
Yeah. Similar to Pierre, I started out with the Nike Georgia Stars. And the biggest takeaway I can take from that is the relationships that I built, the coaches, the guys around those programs, those relationships, and how we were able to feed off of one another and learn from each other, and the communications and the relationships we still have to this day. So I'm gonna give you a scenario. So it was three of us coaching, one still with the Stars, one with Game Elite, and I was with Atlanta Express. So we still kept those tight relationships. We still talked every day, and we teaching each other, you know what I'm saying? So we just helping each other. And we still use those methods. And it was such a learning experience to me when I was able to bring these methods to Team Driven and just implement it, putting our little twist on it. And when I was with Atlanta Express, you know what I'm saying, with Winfred Jordan, tremendous mentor. He gonna teach you everything you want to know. I just soaked up so much just knowledge from him. And again, we're able to implement those things. Coaching with Stacey Castle, the father of Stephon Castle, played at Wake Forest. His son, McDonald's All-American, Rookie of the Year. So you're around all those high-level guys, basketball guys, just soaking up all that knowledge and able to just bring it to your program. And that just opens so many doors, and it just make people do like, man, you know what I'm saying? It just makes us look good on our, just because we learned all this stuff from those high-level guys. And the biggest thing is you can still call all those guys today. They'll answer the phone. What you need, Shard? What you need, PM? And they just help you out.
I think the biggest thing, and I don't want to speed past this, y'all, like, I want y'all to soak this up right here. They just said he coached #1 pick in the NBA All-Star Edwards, and he coached the Rookie of the Year last year. Like, that's not normal. It's not normal to be around that type of athlete. Like, and they, especially, where we come from, that's not something that you just see every day. I remember when he first got up there, he was coaching Ant. He called me, told me to go to it was Cartersville, Georgia, and I went up to the tournament, and I immediately knew that Ant was a NBA All-Star, and he was just different. Like, when you see certain players up close, like, you see him on TV and everything, like, but certain players are just different. And Ant was different from the beginning. And like, just being able to be in that type of environment and see the work ethic that they put in, the things that we would talk about is that not just only that they are different, like, on the court, but just the work ethic that they put in is different. So when you're thinking about like what you're able to see in the way that these programs move, they move like real programs. So when you think about like coming up under those real programs, seeing that type of talent, and then being able to come back and bring that to Montgomery, Alabama, where it's not necessarily the norm. So you're going to be able to see what the difference is between, okay, you just good in Montgomery versus no, they're like the talent. Like you can tell the talent, like even just me and the players that I've been around growing up and the players that I saw, like there is a difference between the level of work that they put in and the level of work that it takes to get to that next level. And then like, not just from the player, but the level of work that the director, the coaches and all that they put in. So I think that's important to differentiate. And I think that's important for any parent watching, any parent listening, to understand that you have to put your kids in people's hands that know what they're doing and have been around to see what it looks like to do it right. Because everybody can talk and say what they think is, oh, this is how you get there. This is what you got to do. But unless you actually like seeing it, Jay-Z has a lyric that says, everybody can tell you how to do it. They never did it. But so that's like, it's just people who talk, but that haven't like been involved with these types of things, that everybody's just spinning up an AAU program and thinking they can do it just because, hey, I want my kid to play and I'm going to put this program together. Or, hey, I don't think my kid's playing enough over here, so I'm going to start this program. You have to build and you have to take your time to do it right. And you have to, work with people who are doing it right and have seen it done right. So I think that's definitely important. I want y'all to talk to me a little bit about some of the things. I know you dove into a little bit, but Winfred, that you've seen, and other people that you work with, like just like how did they run their program differently?
Yeah, so my mentor when it comes to AAU basketball, Winfred Jordan, he's the director of, like I said, Atlanta Express. And it's more so like a business model, man. Like it's serious business. You're targeting kids who families or parents are invested, because at the end of the day, we're trying to get them to college on an academic scholarship. But when you talk about the NIL now, it's business, because guys are able to make money. And so the AAU programs that I've seen, the more expected ones, it's all a business model, from the top to the bottom, and they're holding everybody accountable, from the directors to the coaches to the players to the parents, and it all works full circle. And even in some situations, AAU coaches will have relationships with high schools, with maybe a couple different ones, or maybe a certain high school, and they're all working on the same page to make sure that they can get the best out of each kid, and make sure that, he can soak in them as much as possible for his journey.
And to pick up off of what Pierre said, structure, that's the biggest thing. How you operate, from how you wake up in the morning, how you travel, how you do all that stuff, all that matters. And that's the big thing when parents and kids come to our organization with us. They're like, man, this thing is very structured. We are big on travel, lodging, what time we're gonna be at the gym, what we eat, like everything is it's no just, hey, let's do this, let's go have fun. No, we treat everything as a business trip. It's a time and a place to have fun, but what we're trying to do is prepare these kids on and off the floor, off the court, how to operate and how to prepare yourself to be a collegiate athlete. That's the model that we look at. Anything from what you're eating, how we feed our kids when we're on the road, sleep, it's just everything. It all matters. Again, with us being with programs where when I coached when we were 17, we had about 7 kids go Division 1. And that's not normal for a AAU program, for a top-notch AAU program. But again, we're speaking like with Montgomery, you're around 7 Division 1 athletes. You got to act as such. You know what I'm saying? It ain't where y'all could just play around and do that. No, you got to take care of your bodies. After games, you sitting down, you eating fruit, you taking care of your body. And that's how we model with Team Driven. We really treat it as such. The coaches that come in with us, they learn real quick. We hold everybody accountable. This isn't no place where y'all could just be friends with the players and stuff. Like, we got to hold everybody accountable. We hold each other accountable. It's times when me and Pierre might not see the eye to eye on something, but we have to hold each other accountable. So, and that's just the biggest thing.
I think, even just to add to that, when you think about like when they're putting their kids in the program, and that is so important, because you talked about businesses investing, like treating it like a business, because they're investing their money into you. Like everybody wants NIL. Everybody keeps asking the question, man, how do I get NIL? How do I get NIL? By treating and running everything like a business. And that doesn't mean that I'm asking for money and it's just transactional. You have to look at it like, hey, if I was a business that's looking to invest money in you, what am I investing in? What am I getting out of what am I getting out of this NIL deal? Like, if I'm spending my money, I'm not just paying you because you're good. I'm paying you because I want a return on my investment. I'm paying you because as a brand, I'm spending this money, and you have to be marketable. And by being marketable, you have to be a good kid. You have to be a kid that carries themselves in the right way. You have to not be a risk to their program, to their brand. So all of that matters in the sense of, hey, I'm running like a business. Like, you can't just be good, because, to be honest, most of the kids are not good where they are going to, and like, that's asking for these NIL deals, and everybody is looking for money, but they're not looking at, okay, as a business, as a business, what am I investing in and what am I getting out of it? Anything else I want to add to it?
And like you said, so with that business aspect and investing and things like that, we are targeting kids who have good parent support, who have good grades, and who have high character, because we travel a lot. And like Fred said, it can't be a kid that's a risk of anything popping off as far as getting in trouble here or there, getting phone calls. Because we've had years ago when we first started out, kids sneaking out the hotels, running the phone bill up, making phone calls. But we kind of got off there, and that was one of the things that I learned too when I was in Atlanta, the type player that you get. So it's a difference between a true basketball player and a kid that can play basketball. A lot of kids can play basketball, but we are more so trying to target the basketball players. Who are the kids that's trying to make something out of this? Who are the kids that's trying to go to college and play basketball? And even if their goal is to go to the NBA, who knows or who's in tune with themselves enough to say, okay, I can play a little bit, right? I want to go to college, but I know I might not go to the NBA, but I can go to college and I can get a degree and I can do this, this, and this. Those are the type kids that we are targeting, because that's what makes the difference in our program and what we're trying to do. When we went to Las Vegas in 2022 with a 7th grade group, if we took 10 players, 9 of the players had a parent, or if not 2, that went on the trip with them. That's how a program is successful. Us as directors, coaches, we can only do so much. But when you have parents involved and that's willing to spend their money to travel across the country, it's gonna always be a success.
Yeah. And I think that's a good, actually a good segue, because when you we've been talking about basketball, the majority, you said you have a golf program, diversifying the athlete and their exposure as kids, right? Tell me a little bit about why golf was chosen and how it opens up new opportunities.
Well, with golf, it's kind of different because every kid isn't athletic to go play football, basketball, or baseball. And then with golf, also being an opportunity for minorities to receive scholarship, if their game can get developed in such way, they can receive scholarships to ultimately get an academic degree. And they can move forward with their life with that. And with our golf program, yeah, we do the training 2 to 3 times a week. But then we also do character building workshops, life skill workshops, and things of that nature to develop the overall athlete, not just athletically on the golf course, but to make sure that he can maneuver and throughout this world.
Yeah. I was thinking about this. I had, I was out in Austin, golfing and stuff like that. And just talking to people and asking them, how long you been doing this? How long y'all, for us, where we come from, it's not, that's not normal to golf. And everybody I talk to, yeah, I've been playing this since I was 10, 11, 12 years old, going out on the golf course and just playing. That's not a normal thing for the inner city of Montgomery. Right. That's not something that you are introduced to. So with this, it's going to develop character, it's going to develop it also, just even from this standpoint alone, is develop character, because it is a different game that takes your mind in different places, because you can have a good swing one time and you might not have a good swing for the next 10 swings. And that is important because it makes you dig deep inside, and it makes you be able to have to focus. It makes you be able to stay grounded and not get too high, not get too low, because that next swing is the only one that matters. So I think that's important to the character development, and then networking, because you meet so many different people and you're going to develop those life skills and those types of things that you're not getting when you're only playing basketball, football, those types of things. So I think that's very important. And then the other thing that I think that was important to what you mentioned was just scholarships. How you all, because we've been talking about this a lot, and how you all look at, we are trying to get your school paid for. And that is such a different way of looking at it that a lot of people don't understand. Because if you look at it from the standpoint of, hey, I want to get my school paid for, you're looking at it, you're playing a different game, because you're going to be involved with your academics. You're going to understand that, hey, this is a route for me to go to school and get it paid for and not be a burden, or I don't want to say from a standpoint to be a burden on your parents, but to make it easier on your parents. Yeah. That's not something that they have to be concerned about. And when you talk about, the kids having parents that are investing in them, that is an investment. When you're traveling and you're doing all this stuff, you're looking at it to pay off. at some point. So talk to me a little bit about how y'all view scholarships.
One of my main things that I say whenever I meet a family is let's let this $50 ball take care of $150,000 worth of education. That's my pitch. You know what I'm saying? I'm so big on getting my kids in college. It's funny you said something about it today. I talked with one of my parents this morning, and it just hit me when we were sitting right here how he listens. The mom, single parent mom, she brought us her kid and was just like, I'm gonna trust y'all with my baby. And now we fast forward, he's a division one football player starting now, and his NIL deal is crazy. It's to the point now where he's sending me money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a situation where it's crazy. But to answer your question, man, that's the biggest thing. Our whole thing is let's get our kids in college. The NBA, NFL, that's great, man. But my reward is I don't care about winning tournaments. I don't care about all this stuff, write-ups, this is my biggest thing is let me get my kids in college. I don't care what level it is because I know how important it is to have your degree and a free degree at that.
Yep.
And how it can open so many doors, networking, relationships you're building in college. It just gives these kids a whole different outlook and a whole different opportunity getting a free education, doing something that you love.
Yep.
And now with the NIL, it's so crazy. I look at my kids that's playing, man, I look on their Instagrams, man, they living life. Like they are living, and I'm so proud of them. I'm like, they making real money.
Yes.
Doing what they love.
Yeah.
It's
kids.
And they are kids, man. I mean, these little kids was staying in my apartment on my couch, getting on my nerves, running my blood pressure up, and now they making more money than me. That's just crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But it's
possible. It's attainable.
Yeah.
Like when you think about it, it's attainable for them, and it's like when you're able to see it, and the sacrifices that has to be made, the long nights, the long trips, all those things, and and I think it really speaks to like the community and the building and the things that programs like Youth in Action is able to do by building just a village around the kid. So you hear the whole saying, it takes a village, and for you to get to that next level, for sure it takes a village. One person is not one parent. It's not a one job. That it's not one person that does this. It's so many different people that are pulling strings, meeting this person, networking. And then you got to think about like people who are in it for the right reasons, who are doing these things and not looking for something in return. They're actually like putting and pouring into these kids and putting them in a position to live their life. And then like, man, the reward is being proud of them.
Yep.
So I think that's big. And it also leads me to the next thing that we talked about, and we're going to be doing a lot of this. We'll have more conversations about it, but the leadership program. So like, mentorship, life skills, character development, leadership preparation. So talk to me a little bit about that and what you have planned for.
So that came to me as an idea because we see so many athletes in this area who are good athletes, but maybe not in sharp in other areas, where they need to be. And so instead of us being able to just work with the kids that's with our golf program and team driven, the Leadership Academy was put together to work with kids throughout the city. So we'll reach out to different athletic departments, different coaches to have football teams, basketball teams, girls basketball, softball, whoever. And we'll bring speakers in to talk to them about life skills, character development, leadership qualities, and even to build a relationship with within the community where those student athletes can work in community initiative, whether it's Thanksgiving drives to give away turkeys, Christmas toy drives, to give away toys, but to where they can value the community and just working with them in all aspects of that.
I love that. And so, like that's through partnership with schools, businesses, community leaders. Yep. And I think the big part about that is like, you have to get the community involvement. Like, so talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah. Again, like you said, man, it takes a village, when working with all these kids, and getting the community involved is probably one of the biggest things. Once you got your community behind you, it's gonna be very, very, very hard for stuff not to go your way. You know what I'm saying? Because everything is gonna have to align together. Everything is gonna have to be in alignment for these kids to go next level. And it's just, once you got your community behind you and you're doing in your community sees you out actively out here donating hours, service to the community. I mean, and that goes on the character. You know what I'm saying? Like, getting these kids out working and doing stuff in their community, that shows big in their characters.
And so talk to me a little bit about some of the different programs that you've already been participating in through.
We've done a voters registration drive. We did that a couple years ago at Lee High School at the time and at Carver High School, where we had us 18-year-olds. We were getting them registered to vote, and it's just kind of sad when you have adults who are not registered to vote. So they really gave us a purpose. Let's try to give them as teenagers, right before they hit adult age, to go ahead and get them registered, because it is important. Other things that we've done is turkey giveaways with our kids and toy drives and even school supplies. We a couple years ago we did a school drive and free haircuts. But it's just important when kids can value what they're learning in the community and see people in different lights and be exposed to different things. That's one of the biggest things about youth in action, being able to get kids exposure to things that they normally wouldn't be exposed to. It can really change a life because so many kids are in their own little box and they're not stepping outside their box. They only know what they know. So when you have an opportunity to step outside that box, talk to different people, I mean, it could shed a light on you, and it could turn your life for the best.
And I know I can speak to this because that's one of the things that we've been working on with the leadership program, but exposing them to technology and how to leverage that technology, right? And I think that that's so important because a lot of parents are afraid of them using this right here, right? And them having too much screen time, them having too much things. But the flip side of that is they grew up in a world that this is all they know, but also they're going to go into a world where this is all that's going to matter is their ability to be able to use this technology and be able to work with it, right? So I always tell people it's not AI that's going to take your job. It's going to be someone who knows how to use AI better than you that's going to take your job. So we have to lean in, especially as we as Black people, we have to be able to lean in on using that technology and being able to leverage it to get opportunities that's going to be for the future. My daughter, she's always on Roblox, right? And my thing is, okay, if you're going to be on this, like, let's learn how to actually use it. Like, hey, it might be game development. Like they like to build houses on Roblox. So I'm like, hey, you're gonna be an architect when you go. I'm gonna put you in some engineering classes, robotics and things of that nature. So it's not something that you have to shy away from. But so through our program with Youth in Action, like we're gonna help expose them to different things and expose them to opportunities that are going to make them better at using this technology. So I think that's another big thing. And the last thing I know we wanted to talk about was Hoop with Heart basketball tournament. Tell me a little bit about what's going on with that and what's the goal behind it.
So, Cool with Heart was something that me and my brother came up with. It'll be a showcase high school basketball event Saturday, January 17th at Montgomery Academy here in Montgomery. And it'll be 5 games played that day. But the whole mission is to bring awareness to heart disease in athletes, because so many times, and it's picking up now, where you hear about athletes with these heart diseases and they can't play or they have to sit out a certain amount of time. And then some won't ever get, it'd be a sad situation, but some won't ever get to play again. So we just want to bring awareness to that. It's important that the athletes get physical, get on a regular doctor routine to make sure that their bodies are functioning like they're supposed to do, because it's a serious thing. So like I said, we'll be having a showcase day in Montgomery. We'll have 5 games. We have one team from Georgia. I think that's the only team from out of state, but teams will be throughout Alabama. That's what we will be bringing awareness to: heart disease in youth athletes.
So I know one big thing is getting, like we talked about, involvement, community involvement. I think that is important that or events like this has the support of the community, but not only just the community, but brands and sponsorships and businesses that are going to help fund these types of events. And these type of events are what helps get those athletes exposure.
And not to cut you off, but our sponsor, our only sponsor for this year will be covering everything. It'll be Innovation at Work, CEO Keith Ellis. So his company be sponsoring this event for this year. And so going forward, we'll, be trying to make it bigger and better. So it'll be sponsorship opportunities out there for other businesses. But this year, we're fortunate enough to have Innovation at Work CEO Keith Ellis sponsoring us.
No, and that's important. So like any brands or businesses that are out there, this is a perfect opportunity for to partner with Youth in Action, to be able to put on more events like this, to be able to bring in better teams, more teams that with better players and ranked players that are going to help with exposure. Because at the end of the day, it's all about being able to have the exposure and the opportunities. Because again, I go back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the conversation. Not just about being good locally. It's about being able to have the exposure of national and regional and all these other opportunities that's going to help you get there. Because it's one thing to be good and have the Facebook buzz, which I don't understand why people care about that. But it's just that you have to be able to get on the radar for these big programs and these big publications. And that's how you do that, is by being able to get outside of your bubble and get contacts and get opportunities that are not just local. And that's important. And the businesses are who are going to help those things happen, because, but again, this is a business and money is what's going to be able to put these events on. So that's important. So if you are thinking about being able to sponsor and being able to get exposure for your business, this is another way to be able to do that. Because if you get good players and you get good teams, then people are going to show up. So therefore, your business is going to get seen. So think about how you're going to spend your marketing dollars, because that's how you build your business and continue to grow your business. So it's all in a circle, and all of this goes around. And like, I know a lot of people that have businesses, they should think about, hey, I need to get my business more exposure. And athletes are where you get more exposure, because athletes are going to have parents that support them. So that's more eyeballs on your business. Right. So even if you are a small business, you can put some money into a program like this and be able to get exposure to your business, because they have kids. And guess what? Kids have parents. And guess what? Parents spend money on their kids. And if they spend money on their kids and your business is helping them, then they're going to see your business and then spend money with your business. That's how business works. That's my closing out, my business lesson for you all, of how to get your business more exposure, because you have to spend money to make money. As we wrap up, like, what do y'all want to, like, anything else that we missed that y'all want to talk about? Anything else going on?
We'll be bringing the Youth of Action track program. We'll be back. I talked with Coach Kyle White today. Even if he's not directly the head coach, because I know he's coaching track with Carver High School, he will put somebody in place. And Youth in Action track program will be back spring and summer of 2026. So be on the lookout for that.
And also, the 2031, which is the 7th grade, we will be doing the Junior EYBL Southeast Open with them again. But we'll have the 2031 group, and we look forward to having a big season with those guys.
I got one more thing for y'all. So what's your vision for 2026? What's the message that you want to tell parents and everybody in Brooklyn?
Basketball wise, since I consider myself a basketball guy, 2031 7th grade, we will qualify for the 2026 Peach Jam. So if you want to be on board for that experience, and when I tell you it's a great experience, jump on board for that. We have more information with that coming soon. And our junior golf program, it usually has been 2 months, usually July and August, but we're going to stretch that out in 2026. So our junior golf program will take place from March to the end of July. So you'll have more time. Your kids will have more time with instruction to get better at golf, character development, and life skills.
But to piggyback off what he said, he has convinced me that we will win. So I have accepted the assistant coaching job with him. He talked me into it, so he got me on board. I'm giving up my head coaching title that I've had for the last few years with this group, and we've decided to come together. We work very well together. We decided to come together and put this thing together. So that's the main thing, is qualifying for Peach Jam. And I think we're going to find the pieces to make that happen.
All right. So if you're a parent, a coach, a mentor, a business, I want you all to make sure that you all get your child or help a child be supported through the mission, and make sure that that you all follow these guys on all social media platforms, youthinAct.org, as well as Youth in Action on Instagram. But I mean, the core message that we want to make sure we leave y'all with is that we're not just building athletes, we're building leaders, making sure that we are building a well-rounded individual and bringing them, to make sure that they're reaching their goals and dream big.